Most people think discipline is built in the gym, or through motivation, or after watching one powerful video. But discipline is not built in moments of intensity. It is built in moments of silence and repetition, especially in the first hour after you wake up. Because when you open your eyes in the morning, your brain is in its most programmable state. No stress yet, no distractions yet, no identity pressure yet, just raw, unguarded consciousness. And whatever you do in that window teaches your nervous system one of two things. Either, I am in control of my actions, or I am controlled by impulses. Most people, without noticing, train the second one. They reach for the phone, they scroll, they check messages, they absorb noise before direction. So their brain learns a dangerous rule. External stimulus decides my state. This is how weak discipline is formed, not through big failures, but through small mornings, where the mind never practices command. The 1% don't start their day with comfort. They start with structure. Not because they are extreme, not because they are superhuman, but because they understand something most people don't. The way you begin your day is the way your brain learns to obey. And there is one simple ritual, quiet, unsexy, almost boring, that rewires the brain to choose effort over emotion. It doesn't look powerful, but over weeks, it builds a nervous system that does not panic, does not procrastinate, does not negotiate with weakness. It builds unbreakable discipline, and it starts before the world gets loud. The ritual is simple, but simple does not mean easy. For the first 20 minutes after waking up, you do 3 things in this exact order. 1. No phone, no input, no noise. 2. Cold exposure or physical movement. 3. One focused task in silence. This is not a routine for productivity. It's a routine for authority over your own mind. When you resist checking your phone, you are telling your brain, I decide what enters my awareness. When you expose yourself to cold or intense movement, you are teaching your nervous system, discomfort is safe. I don't run from it. And when you sit down to work in silence, even for just 10 minutes, you are reinforcing the identity. I act before I feel ready. Neurologically, this is powerful. You're activating the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for planning, self-control, and long-term thinking, before the emotional reactive circuits come online. You're not chasing motivation, you're installing command. Most people wait to feel good before they act. The 1% act, and their brain learns to feel good after. That reversal is the foundation of discipline. It's quiet. No one sees it. No one applauds it. But each morning, you're laying another brick in the identity of someone who does not need external pressure to do what must be done. And over time, that identity becomes automatic. By the second week of doing this, something subtle starts to happen. You don't feel more motivated. You feel more stable. Your emotions stop deciding your actions. Your environment stops controlling your focus. Your impulses lose their authority. Not because life becomes easier, but because your nervous system becomes stronger. Each morning you complete the ritual, you send a signal to your brain. I do hard things before comfort. I move before I consume. I choose structure over mood. The brain learns through repetition, not inspiration. So slowly, a new default is installed. When work gets heavy, you don't collapse. When boredom appears, you don't escape. When pressure rises, you don't panic. You've already trained yourself every morning to stay calm inside effort. This is how discipline becomes unbreakable. Not dramatic, not loud, not aggressive, but automatic. Just like brushing your teeth, showing up becomes non-negotiable. And when discipline becomes automatic, your life starts to move forward without constant internal battles. You stop negotiating with yourself. You stop postponing. You stop waiting for the right mood. You act quietly, consistently, relentlessly. After a month of this ritual, the biggest change is not in your schedule. It's in your self-image. You stop seeing yourself as someone who tries. You start seeing yourself as someone who does what is required. That shift is everything. Because once the brain accepts a new identity, behavior follows automatically. You don't need hype. You don't need reminders. You don't need external motivation. You have internal order. The quiet mornings teach your nervous system one final lesson. I can lead myself. And a person who can lead himself cannot be easily distracted, cannot be easily discouraged, cannot be easily broken. Stress no longer throws you off course. Failure no longer makes you quit. Discomfort no longer feels like a threat. It feels like part of the process. This is why the 1% protect their mornings. Not for productivity, not for aesthetics, not for social media, but because every sunrise is a chance to reinforce the same message to the mind. I am in control before the world demands anything from me. Do this long enough, and discipline stops being an effort. It becomes your baseline, quiet, stable, unbreakable.